Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to another meal prep video. This week for breakfast prep, I did a modified version of my chocolate chip peanut butter overnight oats. And for lunches this week, I just did a big ground beef salad. If you're new here, I follow the Weight Watchers program, but I also do pay attention to my calories and the protein, so I try to share Weight Watcher points, calories, and protein. As always, the links to the recipes as well as items that I use, such as my meal prep containers, will be linked down in the description box below. So now let's jump into this week's meal prep. Okay, so I want to show something before I get started with the breakfast because I forgot all about cooking up this chicken. So this is just a whole chicken that I'm going to put in the slow cooker. So this probably isn't going to be in the full picture of my whole meal prep on my table because this is going to take longer than it's going to take me to meal prep. But had I thought of it, I would have gotten this out this morning, early this morning, and got it going. But I'm just going to put this in the slow cooker. I'll use my Instant Pot on slow cook, and I'll put a trivet down on the bottom. I'll put some chicken broth, and then just cook that in there on low. So I've got the chicken in there, I've got my chicken broth down in the bottom, I've got a trivet there. I've just seasoned it with some Montreal chicken seasoning, but season it with whatever you want. Usually I put orange and lemon or maybe lime inside it, but I don't have any of that. And a lot of times I will put some garlic up under the skin, but I'm just keeping it basic for this week. I'm gonna do it for 5, but I'll probably check on it around 4 hours. And I'll just use this for recipes throughout the week. So I did, if you watch my grocery haul, there were a couple things I bought from Aldi that I want to add some chicken to. So I'll just kind of shred it up and use it throughout the week. So breakfast this week, it is time for overnight oats again. I usually have these, I would say, at least once a month. I'm going to do the recipe a little bit different. I've really been kind of changing things up. So the recipes on my website I've kind of tweaked since then. So I keep them the same on the website, but I'll let you know any modifications that I do. So today I'm doing the chocolate chip peanut butter overnight oats. I'm going to make a few modifications. So one thing I'm going to do is use these protein oats instead of the Quaker oats. These do have one extra point. They're 4 points instead of 3 for the half a cup. Also on the original recipe I used to use a 1/3 cup of oats, and now I'm using half a cup. So I'll be using half a cup of oats, so that'll be 4 points and 190 calories. If you want to just use a 1/3 cup, you can do that. The other thing I've changed is I used to use unsweetened almond milk, and lately I've been just adding some pure protein in there. So I usually use about 4 ounces of this in each container, and 4 ounces of this is 0 points on Weight Watchers. And then for calories, it's 140 for the whole bottle, so it's probably like around 60-ish calories for the 4 ounces. I'm going to use some Lily's dark chocolate in mine, and then my husband likes the white chocolate in his. So both of these you can have 17 chips for 1 point. And then for calories, this one has 60 calories for a tablespoon, and the dark chocolate has 50 calories for a tablespoon. And then for the syrup for today, I'm just using the Mrs. Butterworth. I like the Lakanto, so I'm using the Lakanto sweetener for this. I like the Lakanto sugar-free syrup as well, but I'm all out. So we're gonna make do today and just use the Mrs. Butterworths. So I'm just gonna put all the ingredients into the meal prep containers. I'm putting in 1/2 cup of the protein oats, and then a teaspoon of the Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. You can use a little more if you like. And then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of the PB2, which if you're not familiar with PB2, that's just powdered peanut butter. I'm also going to add in 1/2 tablespoon of chia seeds for 1/2 tablespoon of these chia seeds. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers. And then I'm just going to stir that up just a little bit. Next, I'm going to add in the 4 ounces of pure protein. So I'm actually weighing this out on a scale in milliliters, and it's about 118 milliliters. And then a tablespoon of the sugar-free syrup. And then just give those all a good mix. And then I'm going to top those with 17 of the chips. If you're not familiar with overnight oats, you just make these ahead, put them in your fridge, and then you can just eat them cold. I prefer them cold. My husband prefers them cold, but I know a lot of people would rather warm them up in the microwave, so it works good both ways. Now, if you don't use chia seeds, you may want to back off on the amount of liquid that you use. The chia seeds really help to thicken up the oats, and it also depends on the consistency you like them. So you can just play around with the consistency of these to get them to the thickness that you like by either adding or removing some of the chia seeds or adding or removing some of the protein shake. You could just add in a splash of unsweetened almond milk if you want. Just kind of play around and make them your own. All right, I'm going to put in a little voiceover here to let you know that, yes, we definitely ended up having to add some liquid. I have never used the protein oats that I used in this video, and I think just the consistency of them, they were just a lot more, a lot more thicker than they usually are when I usually make my oats. I actually love my oats thick, but these just turned out incredibly thick. So what I did is each day I just added in some unsweetened almond milk and just kind of stirred it up until it was the consistency that I like it, and then just took it to work with me. So you're probably going to want to add some more liquid to these. So that's it for the overnight oats. So the way that I made these, including the brands that I use, they came out to 6 points on Weight Watchers, 367 calories, and 28 grams of protein. This week, I'm actually just doing lunches for myself this week. My husband has a couple days that they are providing lunch at work, and then he's got one day that he's going out for lunch. So I'm just doing lunches for me this week. So I'm going to do 4 lunches for myself, and I'm just doing some really big salads. What I'm going to do is cook up some of this ground beef. I'll probably just put some seasoning, maybe kind of like taco type seasonings in there, like some chili powder and different things like that. And then, so I'll cook that up on my stove. So I'll end up with 4 ounces in each one. Honestly though, I was thinking of just doing 2 of them with the ground beef and then do 2 of them with some of the chicken that I have in my slow cooker. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and do all of them with the ground beef. I can always pull it out and mix and match throughout the week. So I'm going to put them in my salad containers. I'll link these down below. They just have a spot down here. And then it's just got this little divider here. And then it's also got this little container here for salad dressing. I've got a couple avocados. I'm not going to put those in there though, but I just wanted to show that I'm going to be using these. So usually what I'll do is just take these to work with me, and then I'll put some of it in my salad the day that I have it. So I'm just going to be putting some lettuce, cucumber, tomato, and then here, you can't really tell what this is anymore because this is all I got left of this one. This is some feta cheese, so let me show you what it looks like. This is the feta cheese from Aldi. This one I just took out of the freezer, so you can freeze these. They freeze real well. So it's 2 points for a whole ounce, but what I do is just cut it into 16, and then I know each one is a half an ounce like I have here. So I'm just going to put the half an ounce in there of that. So it'll be 1 point worth of the cheese. So the only thing that I'll have to count will be the 4 points for the ground beef, 1 point for the cheese, and I think 1 point for the salad dressing, which I don't have much of this left. So I'm going to use some of this poppy seed skinny girl dressing. This one is 0 points on Weight Watchers. This one I think scans out to 1 with 2 tablespoons. So it's going to be 4 or 5, and then it'll be 6 points if I use this one, 5 points if I use this. And then that doesn't include avocado. So if I add in a point worth of avocado, then I'll count that as well. As far as calories without the avocado, comes out to about 350 calories and right around 40 grams of protein. So I've got my ground beef over cooking on my stove, and now I'm just going to get the cucumber and the tomatoes cut up. And then I'm going to just put everything in the meal prep container. So I've got some spring mix that I bought from Aldi. I store it in these green containers. I have 3 different sizes of these. I'll link them down below. They are great for fruits and vegetables. They really keep them fresh. I've had lettuce in the big container for like 2 weeks, and it's still real fresh and crispy when I go to use it. Just putting the lettuce down in the bottom, and then on the top I'm going to put some of the cucumber, the tomato, and then I'll put my feta cheese on there. I'll end up just crumbling up the feta cheese during the week when I go to eat it. And then I'm just putting my salad dressing in the top container. And then once my ground beef is done, I will put that in there as well. So I put my ground beef in here after, just to kind of let it cool down a little bit. Looks like it's still a little bit hot. So instead of taco seasoning, I ended up just putting some Lowry seasoning salt and a little bit of steak seasoning in the ground beef. So what I usually do when I go to eat these, I just dump everything into the bottom part, and then I put the top back on it, kind of shake it up to mix it, and that's it. So that's my lunch for the week. Like I said, the points really depends on everything you put into it. For me, it's going to be anywhere between 5 and 7 points, depending on the salad dressing I use and the avocado. And then for calories, right around 350 to 400 calories, depending on if you use the avocado, and about 40 grams of protein. Snacks this week, I've got some carrots, I've got some celery there, and I took the rest of the cucumber and put those in with the celery. I've got some strawberries, some kiwi, my 2-point yogurts, and then I've got apples and bananas. And this is actually the dip that I made last week. Can't really there we go. This is the ranch dip that I made using the cottage cheese, just cottage cheese and the ranch seasoning. Mix it in a blender, and as you can tell, we really like this week. So I've got a little bit left of that. So I'll be making some more of this week. I'm going to try it with the cottage cheese I got from Aldi, since that's a little bit cheaper. The Good Culture, I love just the flavor and the texture of it to eat. So I'll probably from now on save this brand for, when I want to actually eat a cottage cheese. Which actually I need to buy some more of the Good Culture cottage cheese too. So I'll use the dip with the carrots, the celery, and the cucumbers this week. So that's my meal prep for this week. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, I appreciate the thumbs up and any comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.